So for today, we're going to be on unit 9.3. We'll do 9.4 in a little bit, but we're going to start with just this one. And we're going to move on shapes, okay? We've already talked about parabolas. You pretty much should be able to tell me anything I'm asking about a parabola. But now we're going to work on finding the center. Find the center and radius of a circle. Find the center and radius of a circle. Okay. So there's a formula for a circle equation. Okay, and the formula for a circle equation is, so all circle, that's not a good time to do. So all circle equations are going to look like x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, that's what's called the standard form for a circle. And there's only one kind of form for a circle. Okay, so it's not like in a parabola where there could be standard form and descriptive form. Okay, this is just the standard equation for a circle. Now, there's a couple parts that we're going to want to find. The center of a circle, if you had to take a random guess, where do you think the center comes from?
The center.
Not exactly. The center points come from H and K. So exactly like it was in a parabola. So you're going to change the sign on the H and change the sign on the K. So H, comma, K. The X portion is inside the parentheses with the X. The Y portion is inside the parentheses with the Y. Then the radius is equal to the square root of r squared. Okay, so the square root of whatever's on the right side of the equation is your radius. So for example number 1, I'm going to ask you, or give you the equation x minus 1 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 4. And I'm going to ask you to find the center, the radius, and sketch. And we're never gonna, I'm not gonna make you use like graph paper or anything like that. You don't have to have perfect sketches. We're just gonna do kind of the best we can. So find the center, find the radius, and sketch. So first thing you need to know is that the center comes from the parentheses. Center comes from the parentheses. Okay, with sign changes. So you do have to change both of the signs that are inside the parentheses. So the center here would be what? Change the sign, +1, change the sign, -3. That is the center for this equation of a circle. Then you need to know that the radius is the square root of the number on the right side. So radius is the square root of the number on the right side. So in this case, square root of 4 is equal to what? 2. Then we just have to sketch. Okay, so you're just going to draw a pretty simple XY axis. This one you do have to put the dash marks, okay? So we're going to go, I'm just going to say, let's go 5 in each direction. I'm just randomly putting 5. So for your center, the center is going to be at over 1, down 3. Okay, so right 1, down 3, that's your center. And then the radius, a circle is obviously circular, okay? So the radius is basically in any direction you would move out to from the center. Not from 0, 0, but from the center. So I would encourage you to, from the center, you want to go up 2 and make a dot, down 2, make a dot, right 2, and left 2. Then once you have those 4 dots, just do your best that you can to connect them with a circle shape. Try not to make it too pointy at the end, but just do the best you can just to connect them with a circle shape. And that's it. That's your answer. So these are very, very, very similar to parabolas in that if you have a nice equation like this, you can literally just read the center straight from the original equation. You can also do the same thing with the radius. And that's how you sketch. Anyone have a question on how I did that? So I'm going to try to make this as easy as I possibly can. Okay, let's try another one. Number 2. Okay, for example, number 2. X squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 7. X squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 7. And again, I would like you to find the center, radius, and sketch. So find the center, the radius, and make a sketch. So just based on the equation, what do we think is the center? What's inside with the x being squared? 0. Comma, what's the y coordinate? Positive 3. So you change whatever the sign is. Okay, so 0, comma 3. What do you think is the radius here? Radius, you have to take the square root of the right side. Is it okay for a radius to be a radical? Could it be a fraction? Could it be a decimal? That's fine. It doesn't have to be a whole number. Here the radius is radical 7. Okay, that's perfectly fine. If you could reduce it or simplify it, you would. What is radical 7? What is it? Which two whole numbers is it in between? What are the radicals that you know that's around that? It's in between 2 and 3. You know radical 4 is equal to 2. Radical 9 is equal to 3. So between 2 and 3. Okay? And you don't have to write that part down, but you're just going to need to know it when we draw our picture. Okay, so make your sketch. Again, I'm just going to go out 5 spaces in each direction. Or maybe 6. Okay, put your center at 0, 3. 0, 3, is that up 3 or right 3? Up 3, okay? I know you guys learned how to plot points in like 4th or 5th grade, but still people get this confused, okay? The first one tells you side to side, so over 0, up 3. That's your center point. Then our radius is radical 7. I don't expect that you're going to have an exactly perfect radius here. I just know it's between 2 and 3. So put a dot up between 2 and 3 from the center. Put a dot down in between 2 and 3 from the center. Right between 2 and 3. And left between 2 and 3. And if you don't have perfect circles, it's not a huge deal. Okay, then connect these with as close to a circle shape as you can make. And you're done. Questions on how I did that? So you're literally just pulling the center and the radius out from the equation. Okay, let's try another one. For example, number 3. For number 3, again, I would like you to give, and this one you're not going to sketch. We're just going to give the center and radius of each circle. So I'm just going to ask you to state the center and radius of each circle. If I give you the equation, 3 times x minus 4 squared plus 3 times y plus 3 squared equals 27. 3 times x minus 4 squared plus 3 times y plus 3 squared equals 27. If you look back at the standard formula for a circle, or the standard equation for a circle, what do you notice that's different about this one? There's numbers in front. Okay, on the standard equation of a circle, there's no numbers in front, so how do you think you'd get rid of those numbers in front?
Factored.
Divide them away. Okay, they already are factored basically, but we want to divide them away. These will always be the exact same number on a circle. Okay, if they're not the same number, then it means they're not a circle, and we'll deal with those in a couple days. So we're going to divide all the parts by 3. And divide basically the whole equation by 3. Divide the whole equation by 3. We're going to get x minus 4 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 27 divided by 3 is 9. Now, this is in what's called standard form. So you can identify your center and your radius. So what is the center of this circle?
4, -3.
4, -3. Just change the signs. And what's the radius of the circle? 3. Square root of 9 equals 3. That's your answer. Questions on, anybody have questions on how I did that? Okay, try another one. There are, by the way, 8 examples for the first set of notes. Okay, number 4. Again, I'd like you to state the center, the radius, center and the radius, of each circle. So x squared plus y squared minus 36 equals 0. So I'm going to give you a bunch of different ways that you could see these written. X squared plus y squared minus 36 equals 0. This one doesn't have coefficients in front of the x and the y, but what looks different and incorrect about this equation? The 0, okay, but also that the whole number is on the left side. So how would you move the whole number to the other side?
Subtract it.
Add it. So it's already subtracted, so you're going to add 36 to both sides. So that would give you x squared plus y squared equals 36. From there, can you state the center and the radius?
Yes.
Should be able to. Okay, what's the center of this circle?
0, 0.
0, 0, because there's nothing inside of the parentheses. And what's the radius of this circle? 6. That's your answer. So all you really had to do was just rearrange your equation just a little bit to get to the right answer. Anybody have questions on how I did that? Okay, now we're going to move on to, now we're going to go backwards. And instead of asking you what the center and the radius are, I'm going to give you the center and the radius and ask you to write the equation. Write the equation of a circle with the following center and radius. So write the equation of a circle with the following center and radius. So if I give you the center and the radius, I'm going to see if you can write the equation. So for number 5, if I give you that the center is at 1, 4, and the radius is equal to 4. So when you're writing the equation of a circle, all you have to do is remember that there's always going to be something inside with the x being squared. There's always a plus in between. There's going to be something with the y being squared. And then there's going to be your radius squared. So literally, we're just plugging things in here. So the 1 goes in with the x and changes signs. So it's going to become what? X minus 1, quantity squared. The 4 goes inside with the y and changes sign. So it becomes what? Plus y minus 4 squared. And then finally, the radius goes on the right side and becomes squared. So 4 squared gives you a total of what? 16. That's your equation. You're just plugging things in and then simplifying when necessary. So like the 4, you had to square it to get an answer of 16.
So what do x and y mean?
That's just the standard equation of the circle. So the x goes with the x portion of the of the center, and the y goes with the y portion of the center. Doesn't really mean there. It means x and y.
So could you like figure out what x and y are?
I don't understand what you mean.
Like, could you find the, what
You're not
number?
solving for anything. No, because this is a graph. So you have to have x and y to be able to graph something on a xy coordinate plane. It's not like you're solving for x or y. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. Write the equation of a circle with the following center and radius. Center of -2, -3, and radius of 3 radical 5. So 3 root 5 for your radius. So again, we're going to plug something into the x and have it squared. Plug in something with the y and have it squared. And then you're going to square the radius. So what would you plug in with the x? A plus 2. You're always going to change the sign. So this becomes x plus 2. What about the y?
3.
Plus 3. And then the radius, this is actually going to be 3 root 5 squared. Now, you can't quite leave this just like that. So how would you simplify 3 root 5 squared? This is really 3 root 5 multiplied by another 3 root 5. So how would you multiply those together? How do you multiply radicals together?
Want the radicals
Multiply the numbers together. So 3 times 3 would give you 9. Underneath the radical, you'd get what? Radical 25. Then you can take out a 5. So really this becomes 9 times 5. So it's 45 on the right side. So your actual equation here would be x plus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 45. That's the equation. Huh?
It's very large radius.
3 root 5?
Yeah.
No. It's like almost 4 units. Okay.
Wouldn't it be between like 5 and 7 though? Or 6 and 7?
No, not really. 3 times almost 2, so yeah, it's between 6 and 8-ish. It's okay, it's just a bigger circle. But I'm not asking you to draw it. Okay, and then the last one we're going to do today for number 7. Sorry, I changed my mind. Instead of 8 examples, we're just going to do 7. For example number 7, I want you to write the equation. Write the equation that would result if the circle x squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 9 is translated. What does it mean to translate something in math? Basically it just means picked up and moved. Okay, so it's translated or moved 2 units up and 4 units left. So write the equation that would result if the circle x squared plus y minus 1 quantity squared equals 9 is translated 2 units up and 4 units to the left. So I'm always going to start with my original equation. So x squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 9. What would be the center of this circle? What is the center as it's written right now? 0, 1. And what's the radius? 3. Okay, so I would always start with just drawing that. Okay, so you're going to make a center at 0, 1. So that is over 0, up 1. So over 0, up 1. Okay, and the radius would be at 3. So you'd go right 3, left 3, up 3, down 3. Now, is it absolutely necessary to actually draw the circle? Not really, okay? Because if you're moving something, is it going to get bigger or smaller? No, it's just moving. So really, this circle, I'm just saying if I pick up and move this whole circle, excuse me, 2 units up and 4 units to the left, what's the only point here that really matters as far as the equation goes? The center. So all I'm really concerned about is finding the new center, okay? So the new center, if you move up 2 2 units up from the center, and 4 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. What would my new center be at? I move 2 units up and 4 units to the left. Where is my new center? What point is this new center at? -4, comma 3. So all I'm really concerned with is writing this new equation, okay? So once you figure out where the new center is, you just write the new equation. You know, something goes inside with the x, something goes inside with the y, okay? So what goes in with the x now in my new equation? A +4, because you changed the sign. What goes inside with the y? -3. And then what happens with the radius? Does the radius change? No, it's the same radius, okay? Same radius, so what was my original equation equal to? What was my original equation equal to? 9. That's your answer, okay? The only thing that you have to change when you're translating something is you're just changing where the center is. Okay, so all you're doing is changing where the center is. The radius stays exactly the same because you're literally just picking it up and moving it over. Yes?
Can you move it over again so I can see?
Oh, sorry.
No, move the center.
From here? So you're going to go up 2 and 4 left. So just count from the center up 2 and 4 to the left. Okay? That's it for this first set of notes. Okay, you guys are going to do worksheet 3. You're doing numbers 1 through 20, and we'll make it odds for you. Okay, you're going to do
1 through 19.
yes, so 1 through 19, thank you. So 1 through 20, you're doing worksheet 3, just the odds. I'm going to give you guys a little time to work on this, and then we'll do worksheet 4, okay, or 9.4 homework, or notes, excuse me.